The biggest crypto exchange in the world, Binance, is now in the crosshairs of the US government. You know things are getting serious when various levels of government bureaucracy team up like an episode of the Avengers, but instead of battling Thanos, they are taking aim at Binance. And with Binance's connection to Tether, we might be seeing the beginning of the end for the entire crypto universe. So get ready, folks. This could be your last chance to hop off the crypto roller coaster before things get really ugly. If you haven't been keeping up with the news, Binance, the crypto giant, is facing some serious heat from US regulators. It's like the US government is trying to give a not-so-warm bear hug, squeezing tighter and tighter until it pops. We're talking about lawsuits from the CFTC, an ongoing investigation from the SEC, and even the Department of Justice getting involved. It's like the crypto equivalent of a celebrity roast, except the jokes are subpoenas and the laughter is the sound of crypto investors panicking. Binance was founded in 2017 by Changpeng Zhao, or CZ, as he likes to be called. He was born in China, but left shortly after when he was 12 years old. His family landed in Vancouver, and Zhao ended up going to the University of McGill in Montreal. After finishing school, Zhao reportedly spent time working in Tokyo and New York, eventually trying his hand at an IT startup in 2005 back in China. Binance quickly became the go-to platform for trading all things digital and currency related. The company has amassed 128 million users, or let's say accounts, according to their most recent figures. It's like the Amazon of crypto exchanges, but instead of selling you weird gadgets and knockoff electronics, it's trading in digital currencies that might or might not have any real world value. Binance has become so important to the crypto community that it handled a whopping 92% of Bitcoin's spot trading volume in 2022. So if Binance goes down, it's like watching the Death Star explode, but with more financial consequences and fewer Ewoks celebrating. The CFTC complaint against Binance is like a smorgasbord of alleged financial shenanigans, each more brazen than the last. In one corner, we have allegations of Binance giving high-frequency traders preferential treatment, and in another, we find accusations of Binance's anti-money laundering efforts being about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. And let's not forget the claims of market manipulation, where it seems Binance took a page out of the Wolf of Wall Street's playbook. One particular damning quote from the complaint alleges that CZ himself was fully aware of the regulatory dodgeball game he was playing. The filing makes the case that Zhao expressed a desire to do whatever it takes to run from and avoid regulatory pressure. It's like CZ was driving a getaway car, constantly swerving to avoid the flashing lights of regulation in his rearview mirror. The fact that he was so candid about his intentions makes it even more eyebrow-raising. But wait, there's more. The CFTC complaint also takes a deep dive into Binance's operations, painting a picture of a company that was more focused on profits than playing by the rules. It is illegal to run a crypto derivatives exchange in the US without registering it with the CFTC. Additionally, if you have a crypto derivatives exchange abroad but have not registered it in the US, it is illegal to let US customers trade on it. This is important because the CFTC has proof that Binance was asking US clients to use a VPN so that they could mask where they were trading from. In fact, not only did they ask them to use a VPN, they created online manuals teaching their US clients how to do so. If the VPN thing failed, they would have large traders work to evade their own compliance by setting up shell corporations outside of the US. Allegedly. Or they would suggest they become non-KYC clients, which is another way of saying anonymous clients, and Binance could just waive the withdrawal limits on their non-KYC accounts. Of course, they would only do this for their special VIP clients. There are other allegations in there, like Binance acknowledging how they are facilitating money laundering for terrorists. For example, in regards to a Hamas transaction, Samuel Lim, Binance's chief compliance officer, says, like, come on, they are here for crime. To which Binance's money laundering reporting officer says, we see the bad, but we close two eyes. Also, there are allegations in there that CZ was secretly trading against customers on the Binance platform. It's alleged that Binance has been the sole seller of Binance options. So let's talk more about CZ. He is like the Tony Stark of the crypto world, minus the Iron Man suit and with a lot more regulatory scrutiny. He's known for his flashy lifestyle and social media presence, where he boasts about Binance's achievements and takes shots at competitors. But with the mounting pressure from regulators, it seems CZ's social media habits have taken a more defensive tone. He's been insisting that Binance is fully compliant with regulations, even as the walls close in around his digital fortress. It's like watching the last stand of a superhero movie, but with fewer explosions and more frantic tweets. The funny thing is that CZ was never afraid to throw stones at glass houses. For example, he was instrumental in taking down FTX. Let's touch on that. The relationship between CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried is a complex tale of alliances, betrayals, and high-stakes venture drama. Initially, Binance invested in FTX, which led to a mutually beneficial partnership. However, when FTX later bought out Binance's position, Binance ended up with a large number of FTX tokens. This put Binance in a powerful position, holding the keys to FTX and their sister hedge fund Alameda's financial stability, because Alameda's balance sheet was held up by these thinly traded tokens and their fair market value. Of course, this balance sheet could have a hole blown into it if someone who held a bunch of FTX tokens decided to sell them into a thinly traded market. But who could do that?
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
And selling those tokens is exactly what happened. Shortly after Binance started selling a portion of their FTX tokens, CZ fanned the flames by liking a tweet from the Dirty Bubble Twitter account that claimed FTX's sister hedge fund Alameda was bankrupt. CZ's public endorsement of this information signaled to the world that the gloves were off and the feud between the two crypto giants had officially begun. This might sound like a small detail, but as we recently learned with Silicon Valley Bank, social media can be extremely influential in causing bank runs. What happened on social media between SBF and CZ led to a bank run and the downfall of FTX, landing SBF in a cell where he's now munching on prison grub, complaining that there aren't enough vegan options. Oh wait, I'm actually wrong about that. He's now at his parents' house on house arrest, despite running what was a multi-billion-dollar fraud. Anyways, let's get back to Binance, who has had many other controversies. Reuters reports that Binance allegedly helped Iranian companies trade over $8 billion even as international sanctions were in place against Iran. In other words, CZ was giving the proverbial middle finger to large US financial regulators. And even prior to the CFTC complaint, the SEC was investigating trading affiliates of Binance US for potential violations of securities laws, including the possibility of undisclosed compensation arrangements that could influence token listings. And then we also have Binance's connections to China, which of course raises eyebrows given China's strict stance against crypto trading and mining. The Financial Times claims that Binance has close ties to both Chinese technology and financial firms, including the tech giant Tencent and an affiliate of the China Construction Bank. Despite the exchange's claims of having no official headquarters in China, the report also found that Binance had been operating a secret office in Shanghai. But the biggest controversy with Binance is, of course, any potential connections to Tether. In case you're new, Tether is the company behind the USDT stablecoin, known as the largest stablecoin in the world by market cap. Tether has been accused of manipulating the cryptocurrency market and propping up the price of Bitcoin. Tether claims to be backed by $1 for every 1 Tether. Think of it as a clearing currency which is used for the crypto world as a substitute for US dollars. It became trusted in the crypto ecosystem largely because it's owned by the same company who owns Bitfinex, which was at one point the largest crypto exchange in the world. The New York Attorney General Office investigated Tether back in 2018 and found that Tether, at least at some points in history, lied about being backed 1-to-1. Back in 2018, Tether had a market cap of around $2 to $3 billion. At this time, according to the Wall Street Journal, former plastic surgeon Giancarlo Divicini, who today serves as the company's CFO, owned 43% of all Tethers, with CEO John Louis Vanderveld and lawyer Stuart Hoegner owning around 15% each. Today, Tether has a market cap of around $80 billion, and we have little transparency on who owns it all. For context, an $80 billion market cap puts them roughly in line with some banks like UBS, TD Bank, Goldman Sachs, and Citigroup. Banks that have tens of thousands of employees, access to central banking, and provide real services to the economy. Now, thanks to the Celsius lawsuit, we have discovered that Tether made loans to Celsius, providing them with Tether in exchange for debt. The idea is simple. Tether exchanges 1 Tether for an IOU that will pay Tether the company $1 for each Tether borrowed in the future. In May 2021, Tether lent Celsius Tether worth $1.8 billion. This loan was collateralized by $2.6 billion of Celsius's crypto assets. We don't know if Tether recorded a loss here or not, but it's hard to imagine how they didn't take a big hit, lending $1.8 billion to a Ponzi scheme that went bust. It's often theorized that whenever Bitcoin runs, there are large amounts of Tether printed. And let's also not forget that 92% of Bitcoin transactions in 2022 happened on Binance. Could a full investigation into Binance prove that Binance was borrowing Tether? Or at the very least, that Binance served the purpose that Bitfinex used to by creating synthetic US dollars that aren't fully backed? Well, hopefully the forensic accountants who work for the US government looking into Binance can get us some light on just how underfunded Tether is. For all we know, Binance could be wildly underfunded just like FTX was, with a hole being plugged by some thinly traded shitcoin. Now, it's important to note that since the CFTC lawsuit was launched, Binance has seen $1.6 billion in withdrawals, and Binance is still operating. What do I know? It's possible that Binance is perfectly solvent and liquid thanks to all the money laundering that allegedly goes on over at the platform. I digress. I will leave you with this thought. This could be your last chance to hop off the crypto roller coaster before things get really ugly. If you do own crypto, chances are you hate me too much to have made it this far into the video, but I suggest getting your crypto off a centralized exchange at the very least. Look, one day you just might wake up and find out that what you thought you owned, you don't own anymore. Or even worse, if you are off a centralized exchange, you may wake up one morning to discover that one of the largest holders of Bitcoin decided to rush for the exits while they still had access to banking and dump their Bitcoin into a low bid market. I'm talking a wipeout from today's prices, a 90% plus drop. And this person would have done so because they discovered that any bank with access to the SWIFT banking system was going to be cut off from crypto. Thus, at least for a period of time, you wouldn't be able to crystallize your crypto into fiat even if you wanted to. The SEC, DOJ, and CFTC are all clamping down. Of course, Coinbase now finds themselves in the crosshairs as well. But let's save that for another video. Thanks to everyone who made it through this entire video. I know this was a long one. If you do me a big favor, please hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and let me know what you think in the comment section. I love you all.